Most people go through life never tapping into even a fraction of their true potential. They settle for average results, not because they lack ability, but because they lack the one thing that separates high achievers from everyone else. Big thinking. David J. Schwartz wrote The Magic of Thinking Big to prove a simple but powerful truth. Success is not determined by your intelligence, your background, or your circumstances. It is determined by the size of your thinking. When you think small, you get small results. When you think big, you unlock possibilities that most people never even consider. This summary will walk you through the core principles that can transform the way you approach your goals, your work, and your life. Let us start with the foundation of everything. Belief is the thermostat that regulates what you accomplish in life. Schwartz argues that belief is not just positive thinking or wishful hope. It is the deep conviction that you can succeed, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe you can do something, your mind automatically starts figuring out how to do it. When you believe you cannot, your mind creates reasons why it is impossible. Here is how belief works in practice. If you believe you are capable of running a successful business, you will take action. You will learn, network, take risks, and persist through challenges. If you believe you're not capable, you will focus on obstacles. You will see reasons why it will not work, and you will quit at the first sign of difficulty. The outcome is not random. It is a direct result of what you believed from the start. Schwartz provides a 3-step process to develop the power of belief. First, think success, not failure. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself what is possible, not what could go wrong. Second, remind yourself regularly that you are better than you think you are. Most people underestimate their own abilities. Third, believe big. The size of your success is determined by the size of your belief. Set goals that stretch you and condition your mind to see them as achievable. Now let us address the biggest enemy of thinking big. Schwartz calls it excusitis. It is the disease of making excuses, and it is more destructive than any external obstacle. There are 4 common strains of excusitis that keep people stuck. Health excusitis is when people blame their circumstances on poor health or physical limitations. Intelligence excusitis is when people say they are not smart enough to achieve their goals. Age excusitis comes in 2 forms. Some say they are too young and lack experience. Others say they are too old and it is too late. Finally, luck excusitis is when people attribute success to luck and failure to bad luck, removing all personal responsibility. The cure for excusitis is straightforward but requires discipline. For health excusitis, stop complaining about your health and be grateful for what you have. Refuse to discuss your ailments. For intelligence excusitis, remember that the ability to think is more important than how much you know. Success requires judgment and application, not just a high IQ. For age excusitis, focus on your assets. If you are young, leverage your energy and adaptability. If you are older, use your experience and wisdom. For luck excusitis, accept that success is the result of preparation meeting opportunity. You create your own luck through consistent effort. Once you cure excusitis, the next step is building confidence. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build through deliberate action. Schwartz emphasizes that action cures fear. When you take action, even imperfect action, you gain experience. Experience builds competence. Competence builds confidence. Sitting around and thinking about what could go wrong only amplifies fear. The way to defeat fear is to do the thing you are afraid of. Here are 5 confidence-building techniques from the book. First, isolate your fear and take action on it. Do not let fear grow in the darkness. Confront it directly. Second, use the memory of past successes to fuel your confidence. Remind yourself of times you succeeded when you thought you could not. Third, put people in proper perspective. Most people are too worried about their own problems to judge you harshly. Fourth, practice doing what your conscience tells you is right. Guilt erodes confidence. Integrity strengthens it. Fifth, make your own decisions. People who constantly seek approval from others never develop true confidence. Thinking big also requires you to think differently. Most people rely on traditional thinking, which means doing what has always been done. Creative thinking means finding new and better ways to solve problems. Schwartz argues that you do not need to be a genius to think creatively. You just need to believe that there is always a better way and commit to finding it. One of the most powerful creative thinking strategies is to ask yourself, how can I do this better? Apply this question to everything. How can I serve my customers better? How can I manage my time better? How can I communicate more effectively? Another strategy is to embrace progressive thinking. Ask, what can I do to move forward? Avoid asking, what if I fail? That question keeps you paralyzed. Schwartz also teaches the importance of listening to refine your thinking. Big thinkers listen more than they talk. They listen to understand, not to respond. When you listen, you gather ideas, insights, and perspectives that you would never discover on your own. Listening also builds respect and trust, which are essential for leadership and influence. Speaking of influence, let us talk about how you think about other people. Your environment shapes your thinking more than you realize. Schwartz warns against spending time with small-minded negative people. They will drag your thinking down to their level. Instead, surround yourself with people who think big, who support your goals, and who challenge you to improve. Your peer group is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. The way you think about people also determines how they respond to you. If you think people are obstacles, competitors, or threats, they will sense that energy and respond accordingly. If you think of people as allies, collaborators, and opportunities, you will build powerful relationships. Successful people understand that success is built through people, not in spite of them. One of the most practical tools Schwartz offers is the concept of upgrading your thinking. This means constantly seeking to improve the quality of your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, stop and reframe. Instead of thinking, "This will not work," ask, "How can I make this work?" Instead of thinking, "I do not have the resources," ask, "How can I get the resources?" This shift in questioning changes everything. Now, here is something worth considering. As you reflect on these principles, which one resonates most with your current situation? Is it curing excusitis, building confidence, or surrounding yourself with the right people? These ideas only work when you apply them to your specific challenges. Let us move to leadership, which is the ultimate expression of big thinking. Schwartz defines leadership as the ability to get others to do things because they want to, not because they have to. Leadership is not about authority or control. It is about influence and inspiration. The key to leadership is thinking like a leader, which means taking responsibility for outcomes, developing people, and setting a positive example. One principle Schwartz emphasizes is the trade minds test. Before making a decision or solving a problem, ask yourself, what would a successful person do in this situation? This mental shift forces you to think beyond your current limitations. It pushes you to consider solutions that a bigger thinker would choose. Another leadership principle is to see the best in people. Average leaders focus on weaknesses and limitations. Great leaders focus on strengths and potential. When you treat people as if they are capable and valuable, they rise to meet your expectations. This is called the Pygmalion effect. Your belief in others shapes their performance. Schwartz also teaches that leaders think progress, not perfection. Perfectionists get stuck in analysis paralysis. Leaders focus on making progress, learning from mistakes, and adjusting as they go. Progress builds momentum. Momentum creates breakthroughs. Finally, let us talk about goals and taking action. Big thinkers set big goals, but they also break them down into manageable steps. Schwartz recommends that you surrender yourself to your goals. This means committing fully, not holding back, and refusing to entertain the possibility of failure. When you surrender to your goals, you stop debating whether they are possible and start figuring out how to make them happen. Action is the bridge between thinking and results. No amount of big thinking will change your life if you do not act on it. Schwartz encourages you to take initiative, to be a front runner, not a fence sitter. Successful people take action before they feel ready. They understand that clarity comes from action, not from overthinking. Here is the ultimate takeaway from the magic of thinking big. Your life is a reflection of the size of your thoughts. If you want bigger results, you must think bigger thoughts. This is not about arrogance or unrealistic fantasies. It is about expanding what you believe is possible and then taking consistent action toward those expanded possibilities. Every high achiever started where you are now. The difference is they chose to think differently. If you found this summary valuable, subscribe to this channel. A new book summary is uploaded every single day to help you grow, learn, and achieve more. And if you appreciate the effort that goes into creating these summaries, take a moment to hit the like button. It helps more people discover content that can change their thinking and their results.